All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So the day is here, you guys. We have massive news on the Epstein case. So James O'Keefe, anybody who is breaking his balls on X about that initial release about Prince Andrew needs to go apologize to him right now. And I mean like right now. And I think I know exactly what's going on here because since he released the original video, and if you guys didn't see that, there's no reason, there's no need to show that one. But a few days ago, he released a hidden video that showed one of the royal family advisors, very famous as very, deep connection with the royal family. And he was at a dinner and he admitted that Prince Andrew had, in fact, been sleeping with tons of underage girls with Jeffrey Epstein. So, and everyone was like, we already knew this, dude. You hyped it up like that. You were hyping it up like that. James O'Keefe, he was getting hammered on X. So then he released another video, which we will also watch in this one, which was Pam Bondi at a lunch, who was specifically saying that they had gone through tens of thousands of videos. And the reason it was taking so long is because there's all these little kids on the videos. Okay. Now, I have a theory about that particular video because I personally am going to hypothesize I think it is Pam Bondi and Kash Patel leaking these videos to James O'Keefe. Okay. How is he getting these? Because now, let me tell you what we got today. The very first look at Epstein Island for real, like inside one of the buildings. And when you see what is on this video, okay, I cannot stress this enough. What they're doing is they're easing us into this. Okay. That is my very, very confident hypothesis is this is going to be so much darker than people realize. I don't, even knowing as much as I knew about the background of all this stuff, I don't think I had fully grasped like where this was going to go. This is the first time that I do now after seeing this video. We're going to go through it now, and then I'm going to show you a bunch of previous stuff that is going to connect a lot of dots of how deep and how dark this is really going to go. We're talking worst case scenario is my anticipation here in terms. I mean, anyway. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. And if you're not new, welcome back. I love you guys. I appreciate my subscribers and all of my viewers. Like this video if you don't mind, and let's jump right into it. This is going to get dark.
O'Keefe Media is releasing never-before-seen footage from inside the buildings on Jeffrey Epstein's island. The island, known as Little St. James, is located in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Drones have flown overhead in the past, independent journalists have snuck ashore, but no footage or images from inside these buildings has ever been published until now. This footage was captured about a year after Epstein's arrest. In this world-exclusive, O'Keefe Media Group takes you through the kitchen inside the main mansion, a villa used for hosting high-profile visitors and events. Through our reporting, we can confirm this footage is authentic. You'll see the entire kitchen is a sterile white with stainless steel appliances. There are sparse decorations, including a few pieces of coral, but there does appear one prominent artwork, a large framed photo of a nude baby in a sink. The baby is holding a phallic-shaped object. The image is hung above the kitchen table.
Dude, let me tell you guys something right now, okay? Let me tell you guys something right now. The fact that that was in the kitchen, okay? The fact that it was a baby in the kitchen, in the art. Everything that we've suspected in terms of the Lasagna gate is all going to turn out to be real, okay? Like the art is just one major piece of this. But if you are not familiar with the Lasagna gate, or if you can't read between the lines, if I get bread or a crust and I put tomato sauce on it and then cheese and then I put it into the oven, that would make that gate, all right? And I don't want to say the words because I have a feeling there's going to be some pretty heavy social media suppression when it comes to this particular case because this is going to blow the doors off of things that I don't. Okay. Now, I want to show you something else really quick just to start to connect some dots, okay? This is a video that I did in, let me see exactly what the date was. This is November 29th, 2022, okay? This was after the Balenciaga case, right? When Balenciaga got caught hiding a bunch of, kitty diddler stuff in their ads. And we started looking into the people who had done the advertisements, and this is what was on their Instagram. Okay, these are the people who were involved in the creating that Balenciaga ad campaign that in absolutely clear fashion was like, yeah, we victimize kids. Like that's what we're all about. And so when you go to her profile, this is what you saw. Look at, dude, what is that? Looks like a couple corpses, right? Hey, what's that? Oh, that's not, hey, does that look satanic to you? Huh? How about this one right here that's covered by my logo? Person tied up in a chair, a baby holding up a skull, or over here, okay, a bear that's been hung up. This one looks like a, I don't know, scene where someone, this little creep, little kids. Listen, okay, and then, well, I think this girl was not actually. This was like this person was connected to it, but this might have been not exactly the same person that we thought it was. But like, what is that? Babies in blood? Babies in blood? This is all connected, you guys. Okay, because what is Lasagna Gate? What is the overarching hypothesis? Is that there is a satanic cabal that are in very high places of power, and they have they traded their souls for vice grip on power on earth. I can't speak to that in particular. What I can speak to is a very clear pattern of like ceremonial. What else would you call this? Like what else, I don't know the details of like what makes a good Satanist or whatever, but what would you call that? Now I'm going to show you this clip from my video. I'm wearing the same shirt. I just realized that I'm wearing the same shirt. Oh my God. What are the odds of that? Do you have any idea how many shirts I have? I'm wearing the same shirt. Okay, that's crazy. That is really, really crazy. Anyway, though, I'm going to show you that clip, which is from my video that I did on Balenciaga, which goes through another example of exactly what we're talking about, which is babies in art with stuff like that connects all the dots. Now, listen, the reason that it was called Lasagna Gate is because there was a key figure that was involved in this whole thing through the emails and all that stuff. I'm not going to get into the entire story in this video, but believe me, it's all coming out. And he owned a pizza place in Washington, D.C. And when you went to his Instagram, it was unreal. Okay. Actually, it was just like that. Okay. The stuff you just saw on that last one. Okay, but his was the first one people found. This is before everyone realized that there was like a very, very crazy, suspicious pattern of these high prominent people who are kind of like around politics, but are not politicians that have super public profiles, right? So like once people started sniffing around, started making connections, it's like, what is this? Like that guy right there is listed as one of the 20 most powerful people in Washington, D.C. And his Instagram is all murder scenes and babies tied up and satanic imagery. Top 20 most powerful people in DC. And, there's someone who was the chief of staff for one of the most prominent former presidential candidates of all time, whose brother, one of the most powerful lobbyists in the world and probably the scariest human being I've ever laid eyes on, has an art collection that it literally, you're like, oh, what's the common theme? Every single painting, sculpture, anything he has is like a bunch of demons running trains on babies. Okay. Like it's that fucked up. So like every single suspicion that we've had, the fact that the first thing that we're seeing on Epstein Island is the kitchen and there's one piece of art and it's a baby holding a thing and in a sink looking like, what is that art supposed to be, you guys? And if you've ever looked into all this stuff, you already know why I'm going so bananas right now. So check this out, okay? We're going to go back to the Epstein Island stuff, but watch this. This is from the Balenciaga one. Here's another. This is the book. So this is a book that they hid in the background, okay? In the background of that Balenciaga ad.
Acts with sinister overtones.
Right.
And
sorry, let me go back a little bit.
Fire from the Sun includes small and large-scale works that feature toddlers engaged in playful but mysterious acts with sinister overtones. and insinuations of violence. The children, who are all naked, by the way, in these images, I honestly can't.
You can't show them because the kids are all nude and they're like holding up body parts, like dismembered children, and they're like walking around with like body parts. It's insane. Okay. Okay. So I didn't even show any of it. All right. But like, okay. So let's go back to James O'Keefe, and then we're going to talk more about what's going on.
Begs the question, why did Jeffrey Epstein choose to place this image inside of a kitchen where visitors would eat, cook, and entertain?
Because they are satanic. They are a satanic cult, is my hypothesis. And what's his name? Oh my God. Brett Weinstein's brother, Eric Weinstein, who went to Jeffrey Epstein's house in New York, said that when he got in there, that Jeffrey Epstein had him eat, like sit down at a table that had an American flag on as the tablecloth. And he immediately was like, this is really weird because, you know, you're eating and putting drinks down on it. It's like a subconscious way of being like, look, you're defiling the flag already. And he had some girl bouncing on his lap. It's like, this is going to get so dark, you guys. This is going to get so dark.
Publication of this footage comes on the heels of a report last week of a royal fixer admitting Prince Andrew had sex with underage girls.
Underage girls. That's not cool.
And also after a report last week on Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Yeah, and it's all like little kids.
Since those reports aired, we've received an uptick in outreach.
Okay, so again, I'm going to tell you right now, all right? This is, again, a hypothesis, all right? Do you really think that James O'Keefe is going to, like, or that someone's going to go undercover, like that Pam Bondi, the current attorney general, is like, that they really, like, you know, hidden camered her? Or do you think that there is a certainly mid-level probability that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are using James O'Keefe to release this stuff slowly? And then so she is, you know, that's her doubling down that, like, we are going to release these tapes, but, like, you can't just put this stuff out, man. They're little babies in it, little kids, okay? Okay. When I tell you that if you have never looked into Lasagna Gate, you know, pizza, that, right? If you've never looked into that, I literally cannot stress enough, after seeing that picture at Epstein Island and knowing that these videos are coming out, I highly suggest that you start catching up on that so that this doesn't catch you off guard, because I have a feeling that this is going to be so dark it's going to actually, because you never knew for sure, you know? Basically, all of Lasagna Gate was based on this circumstantial stuff where you're like, what on earth is that? You know, my favorite person who covered this has always been, and will always be Mouthy Buddha, dude. He must have done 16, 17 videos about this, okay? All about the elite satanic cabal of human traffickers that were victimizing kids, okay? Like, he did so many videos about him. And I've seen them all multiple times. And he covered it so fairly because he showed the evidence, and he's like, what does it, like, how would you possibly explain this? You know, but he doesn't make any, he doesn't make any firm, oh, this means this, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, just take a look for yourself. And I've always been of the opinion that there's a high probability that they intentionally made that, you know, the guy who went to the pizza place and shot it up, and then they're like, oh, these insane pizza gators, you know, and look, it's causing real world violence. I was like, they set that up, dude. I bet. I bet they set that up to make everyone look crazy, because again, before these people all real, I'm like trying to talk around it. I'm trying not to say John Podesta. Okay, John Podesta is Hillary Clinton's chief of staff, a very, very powerful person, and in his email, okay, he has an email back and forth with Marina Abramovich about spirit cooking, okay? Do you know who that is? Okay, Marina Abramovich, okay, hang on. Let's just do this, and spirit cooking. All right, let's just take a look. Oops, videos. Let's take a oh, there you go. All right, let's just take a look at what this looks like, guys. Hey, she wants conspiracy theorists to just let her be. Okay. This is what spirit cooking looks like. Okay. This is what John Podesta had in his email, that she was like, I'm so happy you're going to be participating in our spirit cooking ceremony. Okay. Saliva of your lover, mix with morning dew collected from eucalyptus, cut with a knife deeply into the middle finger of your left hand and eat the pain. This is written in blood, semen, and urine, by the way. Okay. That's what they're writing with. A mixture of urine, semen, and blood. Morning urine, sprinkle over. Okay, spirit cook. Mix fresh breast milk, sperm milk, drink earth, like spin around. Like it's like a drop of the same mix of drop water. Small. What is this, dude? You know what I mean? What on earth is John Podesta doing, even discussing going to a thing like this? Right? And again, John Podesta is, I mean, that's just one random email of his that he was going to go to that. It gets so much darker, okay? I'm going to leave it at that for now because, my goodness, it is going to get a lot worse. This is going to get a lot worse, man. I can't believe that this shit's all real, dude. This is fucking mind-blowing.